I am Scented Fawn, a traveler of the fragrant Spacetime. Today, I find myself in one magical place that is surrounded by the sea, in the middle of the Aegean Sea, the island of Donoussa, the easternmost of the islands of the Lesser Cyclades, Cyclades in Greek, between the islands Naxos and Amorgos. Blue sea in all possible bluish nuances, Aegean white, Mediterranean herbs, cypresses, oak bushes, wild olive trees, sand, stone, sea foam. These are all elements of this wondrous place and will act as a perfume inspiration for today's journey. Dress with your most salty Mediterranean mood and, of course, enjoy. In this island, where less than 100 people permanently reside, with one elementary school, one high school, one church and one square, you can come in touch with the raw nature of the Aegean, a place kissed by the sea and the sun. Ilio Diptyque is our first fragrance of the list. I can't say enough how unique and intriguing this fragrance is, at least to me. It feels raw and delicate at the same time. Dry and juicy aspects coexist in this wonderful creation by Diptyque. It is earthy and at the same time it offers olfactively the sparkly luminosity of sunshine. The iris, at least in the beginning, is very prominent on my skin. It offers its earthy, rooty, ghostly aesthetic, but its fusion with a note of prickly pear, which is also a note of this fragrance and a very distinct feature of this island, elevates this fragrance to another level of existence. It brings you close to an oceanic dreamland. It offers an aquatic, salty sensation, a juicy green cactus touch. It has something salty and sour. It also has bergamot inside, but I'm not perceiving this fragrance as citrusy. I think that the bergamot here acts as a gleaming agent. It offers a very interesting glossy effect. Imagine the sun rays falling on the surface of a wild rock by the coast. That contact of solar power and the raw element of the earth. At the same time, it has a very playful attitude because it has a very interesting juicy sweetness which brings you this vacation feel, this freedom from worry sensation. Its dry and solar character makes this fragrance perfect for the Cyclades. So that was Ilio. The island of Donoussa has been connected to god Dionysus, who appeared in a dream of Theseus while he and Ariadne were in the island Naxos, revealing him that Ariadne should not follow him to Athens because she was meant to marry him. Some versions of the myth mention that Dionysus hid Ariadne in this exact island that has been laced with wild cypresses and silence, where the earth has married the ocean. Kenzo, World Power. I'm a big fan of this fragrance. Its aromatic and sweet, salty character are unsurpassed. When you first smell it, you get an undefined, pleasant smell with a ruling aromatic aesthetic, taking a more modern direction, blended with both savory, gourmand, edible aspects. The cypress in here is exactly right, offering the perfect balance of its aromatic and woody aspects. Very discreet but still present. As time goes by, the tonka bean unfolds into a warm, sweet skin tone, which blends beautifully with the aromatic aspect of the cypress. You get the sensation of an almost caramelly skin, caramelly and glittery skin that has just come out from the sea. The salt crystals in here are, in my opinion, irreplaceable and essential to the core of this fragrance's aesthetic. They give it the perfect counterbalance to the aromatic edge of the cypress. They deepen the scent's character, creating a trail that is both forested and salted by the breath of the sea. Imagine salty, sweet tonka bean with a touch of coastal forested magic. This is the sensation I get. The longevity of this fragrance is around 6 hours, within which time it is very pleasantly perceived by you and by others. So this is World Power by Kenzo. Ottoman captain and cartographer Piri Reis mentions about Donoussa in his nautical book from the 1500s. Northeast of Naxos lies the uninhabited island of Donoussa, Teneus. Once the infidel pirates slaughtered pilgrims of the Holy Lands here. Its port is a cove that faces northwest. It is not a safe anchorage. There are rocks. For those in need of drinking water, it can be found on the part of the island that faces southwest. This could very well act as the figurehead, so to speak, of the Cyclades perfume list of today. Salt and Sun by Blue Scents and Eau de Toilette by a Greek brand that gets inspired by the biodiversity of the Mediterranean nature and uses natural and local ingredients like organic olive oil, like argan oil or almond oil and other local products to evoke the region's vibrant landscapes. I bought it here actually in one of the 3 little shops of the island, which offer some very beautiful products from colorful textile to beautiful handmade jewelry, as well as handmade organic cosmetic products and perfume. The moment I smelled this, I said this must enter my list. This is the scent of the island, in my opinion. It is truly, truly salty. If you enjoy the scent of salt in its pure form, then this fragrance is for you and you should definitely try this one. It is marine, but in the most discreet way possible. It is not fishy, it's not oceanic. It's actually a very ethereal take on the marine fragrance aesthetic. It brings you in mind salt crystals that are drying on a rock by the sea under the gleaming sun rays. So it is very true to its name, Salt and Sun. I think that the note that mostly surprises me in here is the note of oak moss, because it blends beautifully with the notes of seawater and seaweed, complementing with its bitterness, the dryness, and highlighting the raw character of these notes. The whole scent is colored by a herbal undertone. The notes mention lavender, but I cannot get a distinct herb note. The herbal aspect also acts as an enhancer of the salty aura for me. It's extremely summery, extremely coastal Mediterranean. And the most wonderful part is that it feels 100% natural. It's like you are able to send yourself with the ambience of this magical place I have found myself in. This is Salt and Sun, a very budget-friendly and beautiful creation by Blue Scents. Many poets have tried to capture the mesmerizing force of the Aegean sun in their poems. Elitis, a Greek Nobel awarded poet, has written, "The first sun spills gold over the waves, and the sea mirrors 1,000 suns." In his poem, The First Sun. Also, love, the archipelago, and the prow of its foam, and the gulls of its streams, on the lightest of its waves an island, cradles the arrival. In his poem, Aegean I. As these poems embody the Aegean sun radiant spirit through words, so does the following fragrance encapsulate its brilliance into an exquisite scent. Corps Volatiles Encapsulated Sun, the brand Aether. Not only is this fragrance one of my favorites of the list, but it is one of my most favorite fragrances of all time because of its uniqueness. When I firstly smell it, I get something between caramelized coconut flakes and sunny wheat fields. There is an edible cereal aesthetic about this fragrance. It feels like dry summer fruits, dry figs, coconut, sunscreen, like sunlight. This perfume, as all perfumes of this collection, features one molecule, bicyclonolactone, not very easy to pronounce, is it? Which, as I read, shows facets of milk, almonds, vanilla, coumarin, hay, and coconut. Reading about the profile of coumarin, mentioning an olfactive spectrum between hay, and caramelized almonds. I must say that this fragrance truly gives me the above mentioned traits in different quatas throughout its wear. When smelling it from up close, it feels more like dry grass and dry flowers, while its bubble is definitely coconutty and very edible. Imagine walking through the paths of the island of Donoussa with the memory of the sunscreen on your warmed by the sun skin, passing between thyme, oak bushes and other type of flora of the Aegean islands. The nature feels very dry and there is this absence of vegetal green. Everything feels like it's caressed and graced by the sun, and this is what this fragrance evokes to me. Also gets me many compliments. So this was Encapsulated Sun. Sunscreen is necessary if you want to spend time in the island of Donoussa, and therefore this fragrance could not be missing from my perfume list. Nuxe Prodigieux le Parfum, which is inspired by the same brand's sunscreen products and gives exactly this vibe, only add to the concept the idea of polished and gleaming pebbles and sand. To begin with, this fragrance is perceived by me more like a lotion than a perfume. Apparently this is a mind game because it is a perfume, but they have truly managed to capture the creamy character of a sunscreen. It's the most creamy exotic floral sensation in perfume form. I love it. Exotic white flowers, tiare, combined with coconut oil, impression of monoi oil, but also combined with a wonderful lustrous impression of the sleek surface of a pebble by the sea. Have you realized that pebbles have a scent? This imperceptible aura of the moist breeze that has come in contact with them, an almost invisible but still present mineral aura, like a veil of minerals on the pebbles. And this is the sensation I get from this fragrance, which is quite unique. It is very easily worn and it offers a very sensual trait to other fragrances as well, so it can very well be used as a layering tool. I use it very often as a layering tool actually. Since it is a parfum, it's quite long lasting and perceptible, which is a plus for sure. So Prodigieux le Parfum by the brand Nuxe. This island, with traces of habitation that go back to the early Cycladic period from 3000 to 2000 BC, is from the 1600s approximately an island of herdsmen and shepherds from the island Amorgos. It features a traditional Aegean architecture with minimalistic whitewashed houses and vibrant blue shutters, echoing the simplicity and harmony of island life. Of course, people had to survive off the land, so the obvious material to build their homes was stone. But stone was absorbing the heat of the sun. The temperatures in the homes were unbearable. Thus, they had to find a solution. That solution was to paint the houses with whitewash, a mixture of lime, salt, and water, which also had a disinfectional use. To represent this beautiful whiteness of the Cycladic architecture, I have brought to you Lefko by Korres. Another Greek brand in this list, Korres, named after its founder, George Korres, who comes from a pharmacist lineage in Naxos. He also preserved heritage of the oldest homeopathic pharmacy in Greece, which was located in Athens, in which he worked as a student and then took ownership of in 1992, developing a homeopathic remedy lab which slowly evolved into a globally renowned brand. The ruling character of this fragrance is soapy floral, featuring notes lily of the valley, which I distinctly get, rose and peony. Simplicity, minimalism, whiteness, and cleanness define the core aesthetic of this fragrance, with its powdery, musky base, which embraces the floral notes like a cocooning, freshly washed white sheet. It has a fabric softener vibe along the lines of Blanche by Byredo. So it truly offers the idea of white olfactively, which makes it very true to its name, Lefko, which means white in Greek. White roses bloom under the sun, the purity of childhood on the first day of spring, the tablecloth before all the romantic dinners, a bright smile, bed sheets blowing in the wind, the whitewashed houses still reflect memories of the previous summer, white branches lying on the beach, bathed thoroughly by the sea, white marks underneath, the bathing suit, the blank pages of the untouched notebook, no more thoughts. Lefko by Korres. Since this island is full of seashells and beautiful sea treasures, an honorable mention to this now discontinued Christian Lacroix fragrance. Christian Lacroix by Christian Lacroix, which has one of the most wonderful bottles and very unpredictably offers olfactively the magic of the sea. Not so much its salty aura, rather than the mineral, transparent aura of the crystal clear waters of the Mediterranean. Our journey to the Mediterranean Cycladic lands has reached its end. Today, I depart from the island of Donoussa to reach my home base in Athens. Donoussa will fade in the distance as I sail away, but in the even greater realm that is called the mind, I will keep the memory of this almost lunar land that is shaped by the light, the wind, the salt, and the reminiscence of infinite bliss. I hope you enjoyed the journey, the imagery, the talk about these fragrances. We'll see you again in my next video. Until then, dream big and dream far.